щоб стріляти або
We'll defend ourselves and counterattack.
відбивати наступи і контратакувати.
Kremlin-controlled media seething after the House passed the Ukraine aid bill, while praising Republican Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene for trying to derail it, leading former Republican Congressman Ken Buck to give her the nickname Moscow Marjorie on Out Front.
Moscow Marjorie is focused now on this Ukraine issue and getting her talking points from the Kremlin.
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, who New York Post already dressed in a Ushanka hat with a star, officially putting her in the ranks of Kremlin agents, called Speaker Johnson a Democrat elected by Ukraine. Greene also said that Johnson betrayed not only Republicans, but the whole of the USA. Nonetheless, the U.S. military aid will be bigger this year compared to the past years. And of course, there is nothing good in that.
I want to talk about an absolute implosion in the Republican House caucus.
Cocaine bear comes out.
What has Mike Johnson made a deal to do? What has he promised he will give them in the future? And this is why we have to remove Mike Johnson from the speakership.
If this fails next week, as is expected, will you continue to try to force a vote on this issue? And two, former President Trump has said positive things about the speaker and has said he doesn't favor a motion to vacate. Aren't you defying the former president's wishes?
Absolutely not. I'm the biggest supporter of President Trump, and that's why I proudly wear this MAGA hat. I fight for his agenda every single day. And that's why I'm fighting here against my own Republican conference to fight harder against the Democrats. Mike Johnson has fully funded the Department of Justice that wants to put President Trump in jail, giving him a death sentence.
All right, yes, so she doesn't have a whole lot of support in her party, but she does have a red hat.
You have to accept the fact that the government totally wants to provide surveillance on every part of your life. They want to know when you're eating. They want to know if you're eating a cheeseburger, which is very bad because Bill Gates wants you to eat his fake meat that grows in a peach tree dish.
Okay, stop. It's tough to defend him right now, you know, and that's hard to say, but it's just a reality.
I mean, for 5 months, we've done nothing but advance things with more Democrat votes than Republican votes.
I don't defend the performance of the speaker. I don't defend the actions that have been taken, including today. I think this is a terrible mistake.
Speaking of cocaine bears.
So you'll probably get a little zap inside your body and that's saying, no, don't eat a real cheeseburger. You need to eat the fake burger, the fake meat from Bill Gates.
Okay, stop.
Before we continue, I'm Zachariah, Lone Star Liberal. Please like and subscribe to this channel. Help me get out the word. Help me beat these people. Wow. They're off the chain.
They probably also want to know when you go to the bathroom and if your bowel movements are on time or consistent.
Okay, I mean, stop. The Kremlin had to deny that Vladimir Putin fell down the stairs and pooped himself. Never forget, never forget.
They are so stupid and they are so disconnected with what the American people want that they are literally going to lead us into World War III. And I don't want to be on that train anymore. I am not interested in it, and neither is anyone else. You're one of the few people that tells the truth like the American people feel and talk and think on television that I ever see. Telling the truth, and I'm trying to say the same thing in Congress, but yet we're the ones that are supposed to be for Putin? I don't think so.
And then she made the same statement in Russian for her people back home.
Britain's Foreign Secretary David Cameron says that you should vote through funding for Ukraine. What do you say to that?
I think he tried to compare us to Hitler also. And if that's the kind of language he wants to use, I really have nothing to say to him.
Well, he likened you to an appeaser to Hitler in not voting through funding for Ukraine. Are you an appeaser for Putin?
I think that I really don't care what David Cameron has to say. I think that's rude name-calling, and I don't appreciate that type of language. And David Cameron needs to worry about his own country, and frankly, he can kiss my ass.
But do you think Putin's the good guy in all this?
I am curious, you were on the show, you called Greene Moscow Marjorie. The nickname seems to have really taken off.
The issue is not with Johnson. Speaker Johnson is not the one who's running Congress. Marjorie Taylor Greene is running Congress. Everyone is afraid of her.
Выйти из альянса призывает Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene is proposing for the U.S. to withdraw from NATO. She believes that Americans should help Putin win.
Quite the statements there on Russian state TV. What do you make of that?
Well, Moscow Marjorie has reached a new low. You know, during the Russian Revolution, Lenin talked about American journalists who were writing glowing reports about Russia at the time as useful idiots. And I don't even think that Marjorie reaches that level of being a useful idiot here. She is just mouthing the Russian propaganda and really hurting American foreign policy in the process.
Oh, Marjorie Taylor Greene, you're the gift that keeps on giving. It's as if we're paying you. Are we paying her? Well, either way, we should pay her more.
Plenty of proof that the government colluded with social media to censor people, and I'm one of them right here.
She's acting completely irresponsibly, and again, when history looks at this period of time, Russia invaded Ukraine. Ukraine is fighting for its freedom, and we should be with the freedom fighters in this war.
Russian troops advancing in a heavy firefight in eastern Ukraine. This video from Russian military TV claiming to show Ukrainian soldiers having to surrender. Ukraine's howitzers often unable to support their frontline units, severely lacking 155mm artillery shells. But now they hope that will change.
We'll defend ourselves and counterattack.
How long are you going to continue this outrage, complete outrage, where China is poisoning America's children, poisoning our teenagers, poisoning our young people? How long are you going to let this go on?
Congresswoman, let me assure you that we're not letting it go on. We are fighting this.
No, I reclaim my time. You're a liar. You are letting this go on, and the numbers prove it.
The members are reminded to abide by decorum of the House. The House will be in order. Investing in NATO security is an America Last policy. All increases in funding should be investing in the United States of America's security and the defense of our own border. The United States overwhelmingly contributes more than our fair share to NATO for Europe's defense. And it's time for European countries to pay their dues.
This trickster is known by many names. The Norse called him Loki. In West Africa, he is Anansi, the spider. To the Navajo, he is Coyote. And the ancient Mayans called him that lying asshat.
They just want you to think that all of a sudden the entire population is steadily turning gay or turning trans, just generation. Probably in about 4 or 5 generations, no one will be straight anymore.
Okay, stop.
I didn't think any entity should enforce a non-FDA approved vaccine or mask. Guess what? A lot of people agreed with me, but you called that COVID misinformation. You've written several books on right-wing extremism, including Hate in the Homeland, the new global far right. I couldn't find any of your work studying left extremism or Antifa or BLM. I mean, we all know Antifa and BLM riots are responsible for $2 billion on damage across American cities.
I'm an expert on the far right because I spent the first 20 years of my career working in Germany in the post-Holocaust, post-unification surge of far right extremism. And I know you have a hearing on Tuesday on far left extremism.
Yeah, but Dr. Miller addressed, just to let you know, this is America. We're not Nazi Germany.
Because Marjorie Taylor Greene will be seated on the Homeland Security Committee, where she'll finally be able to investigate the Gestapo police.
Of course, we all know they weren't going to get a budget done. I mean, 14 appropriations bills, that was never going to happen. It hasn't happened in years. Republicans don't know how to do that. But I digress.
Tomorrow, the GOP will merely tie the U.S. economy to the tracks in the path of a very slow-moving train. Luckily, that's Joe Biden's favorite vehicle, and his only speed.
Alejandro Nicholas Mayorkas, in his inability to enforce the law, has engaged in a pattern of conduct that is incompatible with his duties as a civil officer of the United States. Alejandro Nicholas Mayorkas, in his failure to uphold the oath he took, has, by his actions, lost the trust of the citizens of the United States to faithfully execute the laws of the United States. Wherefore, Alejandro Nicholas Mayorkas thus warrants impeachment and trial, removal from office, and disqualification to hold and enjoy any office of honor, trust, or profit under the United States.
He launched an impeachment or has said he's going to.
Oh my God, really? Oh my gosh, it's devastating. Ooh, don't do it.
This is a defund the FBI campaign effort. Again, thousands of FBI agents who work hard every day to take bad guys off the streets.
That was quite entertaining from someone that had a sexual relationship with a Chinese spy.
Will be either gay or trans or non-conforming or whatever the list of 50 or 60 different options there are.
I move to take our words down.
Congresswoman, let me assure you that we're not letting it go on. We are fighting this.
No, I reclaim my time. You're a liar. You are letting this go on, and the numbers prove it. You can't lie about the facts, Secretary Mayorkas.
It's a complicated topic, and I don't want to get too technical. So all you need to know is,
Identifying or calling someone a liar is unacceptable in this committee, and I make the ruling that we strike those words.
That means that the member can no longer speak in whatever the proceeding is that those words were said.
Personal inquiry, point of personal inquiry.
There's no such thing.
Some Republicans plan to ask for spending reductions to entitlement programs such as Medicare and Social Security. Really? Yeah, that's what I said. They want to cut two of the most popular government programs in history? Well, I guess that'll free up money for their new initiative, drowning kittens and slapping your mom.
Yeah, MAGA Mike Johnson, he may come or go. Who gives a fuck? He's a douchebag. And I would maybe say the Democrats should save him. But why?
2 years ago, I introduced articles to impeach Joe Biden on his first full day in office. We will impeach Biden, bolded with an exclamation point, and you see the actual resolution here. So we have the receipts to prove it. There really is no reason why. They don't care why they want to impeach the president, but they've been trying to do it now for years. Here you have, of course, a member of this oversight committee posting about introducing articles of impeachment on President Biden's very first day in office. And now the Speaker of the House is empowering these people in a desperate attempt to keep his job.
But the impeachment, oh my God, the impeachment. What a shit show. These people have nothing.
Hunter Biden paid for this woman to do this with him, to travel across state lines from California to Washington, D.C. on June 15th. This is a violation of the Mann Act. This was prostitution. This is evidence of Hunter Biden making sex. Excuse me, this is my time. Making pornography.
Should we be displaying this, Mr. Chairman, in the committee?
Did a lady's times expire?
You can consider your speech canceled during my time because you canceled mine.
And of course, just came out that this whole time, Comer's been holding out on the Republicans. He's got a book coming out. Shaman and Susha says it's due in August. All about the Biden crime family. Just in time for the election.
Today's hearing is like most of the majority's investigations and hearings. A lot of allegations, zero proof, no receipts, but apparently some
of anti-Semitism, according to this bill, could be the very belief that we all believe in the gospel, if you're a Christian, is that Jesus was handed over to be killed, and that decision was made by the Jews.
The same member of the subcommittee claimed that Jewish bankers were starting wildfires with lasers from space, and the same member compared vaccine requirements to the Holocaust. And so These attacks being made by this member I find pretty disgusting, comparatively looking at the record of what this member has actually said. But we've been talking about the pandemic, or that's what I thought we were going to talk about today. So let's talk about the pandemic and focus on the president that was actually there when the closures first started, and that was, of course, former President Donald Trump. Now, Donald Trump has also made numerous bigoted statements about Muslims, Jewish people, and many others. We've all seen those press reports. I won't go through them in my short time today. In fact, Republican Governor Larry Hogan said at the time, and I quote, "Waiting around for the president to run the nation's response was hopeless." And so we've got to be honest with the American people about what Trump actually did during that time and some of the things that Donald Trump said.
There was not going to be an impeachment. Motherfucker's got nothing. But it makes for good copy. Especially if I can make some scratch. Sell a few books.
Hunter Biden needs to be held accountable for his sexual exploitation of women. And we've shown more evidence. We've shown evidence. This is what it looks like. This is what Mann Act violations look like.
Mr. Chairman,
I reclaim my time.
I'd like to challenge the use of this
Hunter
exhibit
Biden
under
should
Clause
be
6
held
of Rule
accountable.
17.
It is sad that my Democrat colleagues pretend to care about women's rights while allowing Hunter Biden to exploit women. This is a shame. But let's talk about...
Chairman, there's a parliamentary challenge before us.
The point of
Mr.
order.
Chairman, point of order.
Who's the point? And we'll stop the clock for you, Ms. Greene.
Mr. Chairman, our colleague from Georgia has introduced before pornographic exhibits and displayed things that are really not suitable for children who might be watching.
Because of course, it's all a grift. Problem with Comer is, he's a fucking idiot. So he's no good at grifting. Simon & Schuster announced the book. Comer's spokesman said, no, it's not true. This is not the book you're looking for. What a bunch of bullshit. I'm Zachariah, Lone Star Liberal. Y'all take it easy. Hey, before you go, please like and subscribe. Click subscribe, please. It really helps out my channel. The algorithm does whatever the frickin' thing does. But if you click here or here, it really helps out. If you click here, it really helps out. Come on. Do it one time. It won't hurt.
Were you aware of this?
Congresswoman, as I said, I haven't seen the photos that you're holding up before.
Maybe, well, I posted them on my Twitter account. It's public. You know, maybe
I don't
you guys
spend a lot of time on Twitter.
Well, you know, I'm sure you do, because the Department of Homeland Security, organized with other offices, has censored many Americans, including myself.
I'm not part of the Department of Homeland Security.
Right, Mr. Ray, you should be interested in investigating terrorism, and this right here is proof that we had terrorists in our own office building. Global intifada. And you rely on the Southern Poverty Law Centers. Katrina Bleakley is one of the organizers. I'll send this over to your office so maybe perhaps you can stop targeting innocent grandmothers and veterans who walked through the Capitol on January 6th and might actually go after people tied to Hamas, tied to Hezbollah, and likely Iran. Mr. Ray, are you interested in members of Congress that are organized and participating in a Facebook group that has ties to Hamas?
We're not investigating people for participating in a Facebook group.